Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel Autistic Multiple Life. This channel was created to erase stigma around autism and dissociative identity disorder and speak about different marginalized experience and speak about different human rights questions about intersectionality and stuff like this. And so today, controlling this body, Ayman and Abu Hamza. Abu Hamza is Muslim, Ayman is from a Muslim, and we want to speak about Islamophobia and about this kind of mistakes of war and terror and situation in Afghanistan, about this war in Afghanistan, about situation when Taliban came to power in Afghanistan. We want to speak about it because I think it's a really important question from feminist perspective, from human rights perspective, from perspective of Muslim rights and perspective of questions of Islamophobia, and because we kind of study this topic and Islamic State and Taliban is our autistic special interest, and also in the past we was kind of victim of our terror. I mean that Russian government wanted to start criminal case against Ayman because they believe that Ayman is terrorist who recruiting women to ISIS, Islamic State, Dawla Islamiyya, Daesh, using feminism idea. So it's completely ridiculous, like maybe many questions, many stuff about war and terror. Because you couldn't just kind of fight terror with terror, and war is always terror. War is always create more destruction, more terror, and terrorism, I mean the stuff that you call Salafi-jihadism, is kind of idea. You couldn't fight idea with weapons. You couldn't, if it would be extremely easy, I think, if you just could kill Hitler and at the same time kill all Nazi ideas in the head of all people in all centuries. Or I don't know, kill Stalin and kill Stalinism, and we wouldn't have these crimes in China or North Korea now. But it does not work like this. Like, I don't know, killing Osama bin Laden don't kill Salafi-jihadist idea. Actually, in many ways, it's made it more stronger, because killing one person just creating martyr for these ideas, creating kind of hero, kind of cult. Yeah, and she was speaking about war on terror. You see, in the end of August, Americans finally end occupation of Afghanistan. They came to Afghanistan to fight Taliban, and when they end this occupation, Taliban came to power. So 20 years of war, of killing civilians, of 20 of destruction, 20 years when American soldier dies, it was completely pointless. And also, if you ask me why Americans people don't have free medicine support, why American people don't have a good inclusion for disabled people, why they have homeless people when it's such a strong nation, it's such a strong rich nation, why they have all these economical problems and social problems. I could say that many leftists would say that it's because rich people need to pay more, it's because in American rich people have all money and poor people don't have money. I don't believe in it. So really, I don't believe in it. I don't think that we need more taxes or that Americans need more taxes. I believe that Americans government need more brain. Sorry, but I don't trust them even with money for my cake. Or I don't know, money for one book. I don't trust them with this money, because I don't believe that this money was going to improve Americans' lives. I was thinking I really like American like culture, like country, and like American culture, but I hate American foreign policy, and I wouldn't give American government even money for one book or one cake, because I don't believe that this money was going to American people, to disabled people, to creating inclusion society, to poor people, to creating free medicine. No, I believe that this money more likely would go into bomb, was going to destroy someone's houses, to kill civilians in Afghanistan, or now it's not in Afghanistan, in Iraq, or in other project, war project. I don't know why Americans started this war project over again, because I think they need to remember good lessons since Vietnam War. And it's really disgusting for me that many leftists that was extremely against Vietnam War, not so against Iraq War or Afghanistan War, because in Vietnam War they was in the side with leftists, but they believe that if it's Muslim people, if in this country their enemy jihadi, this like ordinary civilians mean less. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it wasn't so much anti-war demonstrations. Hey, what's happening now? What's happening now, I think it's kind of tragedy. It's not just tragedy because American people spend trillions of dollars, they give taxes to people who spend these trillions of dollars of supporting corrupt government of Afghanistan. And now Taliban in power again, not just because of that, but because now many Afghan people would believe that Taliban was right or Islamic State is right. I mean that it's very difficult to like Americans or to think something good about American culture or American people when American people literally sponsored destruction of your house or death of your loved ones. This is the reason of kind of Americaphobia, if you could kind of call it this way, in Middle East. I don't understand, for example, why people in Russia so hate Americans. Most of the time it's just because of their envy, people in Russia, and because of propaganda. But in Afghanistan or in Iraq, people really have reasons to hate Americans, and Americans create these reasons themselves. It's first. Second, I don't know what's going on in the mind of Biden, of Joe Biden and his advisors, but situation when Americans working with Taliban to destroy Islamic State in Khorasan, Islamic State Vilayet Khorasan, for me it's like Joe Biden would support one mafia family against another mafia family. It's such a humiliation for great country, for big country, for rich country. I don't know how to explain it, that I am outrageous about this, because it's like Taliban, USA, and Islamic State in Khorasan. Biden like push their country in one line with this terrorist group, supporting one terrorist group against another terrorist group. And in this support, again, it was drone attack after American troops was withdrawn from Afghanistan. It was a drone attack, and civilians died again. So now these civilians and their relatives, not the civilians who died, but their relatives, their neighbors who have reason to more support Islamic State in Khorasan, more support ISIS, and even less trust West and even Taliban. Another stuff about why I don't like Taliban this much, because I think that Taliban in many ways is more sexist and more Nazi than even the Nazi jihadi groups, including Al-Qaeda and Islamic State. They are more openly misogynic, because, for example, Islamic State is extremely misogynic, but in the same way, like, for example, Saudi Arabia. Of course, Islamic State is misogynic terrorist group, and I don't kind of recognize them as a state, but Taliban even more misogynic. It's like, I don't know, choose between Hitler and Stalin, but in some ways, sometimes you could say that Hitler is worse than Stalin. So in some ways, sometimes you could say that, yeah, Taliban is worse than Islamic State or Islamic State in Khorasan. But all that really that Biden and other Western politicians really care about, it's not about who is more conservative, who is more Nazi, who is more misogynic. Biden and other politicians don't think about it. They think about death of their soldiers even more than soldiers who decided to become soldiers, by the way. They think about more than death or more than about death or suffering of Afghan civilians. I don't understand how they could support Taliban. And I don't understand how silly these politicians, so that I say silly, I want to use more strong expression, but I think it would be inappropriate for YouTube channel. But I don't understand how extremely silly this politician could be to start drone attacks after withdraw their troops, not just go from region if they decided to go, because it was mistake to go to this region at first. But yeah, they started it again, and I don't know in the name of what. And I said that I think that we need to speak out loud against it, against this war. It's not just a mistake that actually Americans made. We wouldn't have any Taliban if USSR, Soviet Union, wouldn't go to Afghanistan at first. So if Soviet Union wasn't occupy Afghanistan, if it would be no Taliban, it would be no Mujahideen who fighting against Soviet Union. It would be no like jihad, Salafi-Jihadi movement. No, it would be no Arab Afghans. It would be no this kind of foreign fighting movement, jihadi foreign fighting movement that exists now. No Abdullah Azam creating this movement. And in the future, no Al-Qaeda, because Al-Qaeda was started from this movement. The leaders of Al-Qaeda was Mujahideen, who is fighting Soviet Union in Afghanistan, and of course no Taliban, because Taliban appeared after Soviet Union withdrew their troops. Civil war started in Afghanistan, and during civil war, Taliban appeared. So if it wasn't Soviet Union occupation, it would be no Taliban, it would be no civil war, it would be no Al-Qaeda. If it would be no, and it would be no foreign fighter movement, jihadi foreign fighter movement. And if Americans wouldn't go to Iraq, if it would be no occupation of Iraq, it would be no Islamic State. Because Islamic State started like Al-Qaeda in Iraq because of this occupation. And they gained support against Western powers and against government that Americans governments. Yeah. So all this jihadi problem exists in many ways because of our superpowers, like Russia, like in the past it was Soviet Union, now it's Russia in Syria, because of America in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and because of Western countries like France and UK that support America in the adventures in the Middle East. So if you want to fight jihadi, if you want to fight this conservative Salafi-Jihadi movement, you need to fight this militarism and idea that this neo-colonial idea that Western countries like UK, USA, Russia have rights to occupy other lands. Okay, even in the name of democracy or their foreign interests. Okay, Thank you so much for your attention. Yeah, and what I want to say again, I think it would be more refugees from Afghanistan, and I hope that many women from Afghanistan would find their home in Western countries, and that they would be accepted here. And I really ask you, all of you, just don't blame these people, especially these women, in the stuff that's going on in Afghanistan. It's not their fault, and it's even more fault of your own government. So thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to make it more visible. See you next time. Bye.